In this problem, we are asked to calculate the work done by a force that varies as it acts on a particle that is moved from the origin to the x equals 5 meter mark. And we're going to have to calculate this one a little differently because the force varies. If we look at this graph in more detail, we can see that for the first meter of its motion, it has a constant force. Then for the second meter, the force changes. And then for the next 2 meters, the force changes again. And so it is a decreasing force. And then for the last meter, the force has a different slope again. Since we are given a graph of this motion, the easiest way to solve this is going to be to calculate the area under the curve. We are going to do this by breaking up that curve from the x equals 0 meter to x equal 5 meter mark into shapes that we know how to calculate the area of. So the first one I'm going to draw goes from 0 to 4 meters, and it's that long, skinny rectangle, and I'm going to call that A. The next one I am shading in here is a triangle, and I'm going to call that B. And finally, the last bit of this that takes me to the 5 meter mark is that triangle that I've shaded in that goes below the x-axis, and I'm labeling it C. All right, so the area of A, it's a rectangle. It's going to be the length of one side multiplied by the length of the other side. All right, now let's identify what those two lengths are. Along the x-axis, it is 4 meters, and along the y-axis, it is 1 Newton tall, or 1 Newton high. B is a triangle, and the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And I'm labeling what the height is on the figure there. So the height is how tall the triangle is. And now looking at that triangle, let's determine what the values are for the base and for the height. So the base goes from 4 down to 1 meter. So 4 minus 1 gives me my base. And my height goes from 5 newtons down to 1 newton. So my height is going to be 4 newtons. All right, last area to calculate here. This is also a triangle, so we'll be using that the area is 1/2 base times height. And from the figure, I need to write down what the base and the height are. And now we will put it all together, adding up the areas under sections A, B, and C. The units of Newton times meter are joules.